Hi guys, and welcome back. We are in the middle of summer and I'm wondering, what are you guys doing to beat that heat? Well, I do hope you are getting sun-kissed while enjoying the outdoors, having fun and getting wet in the pool or at the beach. If you're not an outdoor type of person, shall we paint some beachscapes together? Let's dive right in. Today's tutorial is really simple and beginner friendly. All you need is a good variety of turquoise paints. Because I love painting beachscapes so much, I have created this beach palette which contains all the paints needed for painting a beach. So on the top I have the cool colors of blues, turquoise and greens to paint the waters and skies. And at the end are some darker colors for creating contrast. For the bottom palette I placed warmer colors such as yellows, reds and browns for the stands. If you're interested about this palette and the paints that I've used here, this information will be available on my Patreon. So here I have taped my paper on all four sides to create a nice frame. And then let's separate the paper into three sections. I have the horizon drawn on the top of the first third of the paper. Then we have the shores coming down like so. On the side there will be an island with some coconut trees. Here I'm drawing in two small huts. Just a really simple one, nothing complicated. Alright, let the fun begin. We will start with painting the skies. So using my flat brush, let's just wet the top part of the skies with just water. I'm leaving out the areas around the island. Then here I'm mixing ultramarine blue with a tiny bit of turquoise. So I'm swatching it here so you can see what the colors look like. Okay, I'm going in to paint the skies. And then leaving out some gaps in between for the clouds. For the island, I'll use water to blend out the blues. Right now I'm seeing some of the blues flowing back into the white gaps of the clouds. So with a dry brush, I'm going to just leave out the colors like so. Because the paper is still wet, the blue paints will keep flowing back into these gaps. I'll just keep repeating this step until the paper starts to dry a little more and stop flowing. Here I'm using a paper towel to just wipe off the area below the horizon. Feel free to tilt the paper around to allow the paints to flow in different directions. This will help to create some movement in the skies. Next, I'm going to prepare the paints for the sea, and I'm going for a more light turquoise hue. So on my beach palette, I'm adding in some turquoise into the same mixture which was used to paint the sky. Once the area around the horizon is dry, using the flat brush, I'll paint in the sea. Closer to the shoreline, I'm blending out the turquoise with water to create a softer edge. Then apply some water around the bottom shoreline, and then bring the turquoise all the way down. This will also help to create soft edges for the shoreline. I want to make the waters at the bottom more interesting, so let's mix up some colors. I'm going in with some greens. Here on my palette I have this cobalt green and some emerald green nova. So I'm mixing the few of these greens to create a more greenish hue, and then add it around the bottom left area. And on the left, I add some ultramarine blue to tie in some of the colors from the skies. Then allow the colors to blend into one another. Here I'm adding a viridian to increase contrast for the greens. So the colors that I'll be using, I'll list them down as well in the description below, so do check it out if you're interested. And once I'm happy with the placement of the colors, I start to tilt the paper around and allow the paints to flow and continue to blend into each other, further creating more movement in the waters. Alright, I'll leave this area to dry and let's start working on the beach. Grabbing some yellow ochre, I'm going to paint the sands on the beach and then leaving the shoreline paper white. Using just water, blend out some of the areas for smooth edges. To give some contrast and depth to the sandy beach, I'm going to mix a very light grey using neutral tint and some of the colors on my palette to create this muddy-ish color. Then apply on some of the areas along the shoreline. Next, keep blending the colors between the sand and the waters along the shoreline. For the coconut trees in the background, I'm going to use a mixture of sap green and brown pink. Then grab a fine synthetic brush with a sharp tip, paint in those coconut trees. Vary the hues by adding more sap green to create a lighter green for the brushes and shorter trees. And as I get closer to the hut, I darken the greens by adding a little bit of neutral tint to the mixture to create more shadows. Using the grey from the earlier mixture, paint in the shadows from the hut on the ground. Continue to fill in the rest of the background. For the browns, I'm using burnt sienna and burnt umber. Draw in some dots and details around the sand to create some details. For extra texture, I'm going in for some brown splatters. Alright, we are almost done. To make it a little interesting, I'm going to add some gold paints onto the sandy area. This step is optional if you do not have gold paints. So I'm swatching it here for you to see what the gold paint looks like. And now I'm going to apply it around the highlighted area, which is around here. Just a little will do. And then blend the edges again with water. I got too excited and started ripping off the tape, but we are not quite done yet. One final step, I promise. I'm going to splatter in some white gouache around the darker areas at the bottom of the paper. This again further brings more texture and contrast into the painting. And as promised, we are finally done. This piece has a really simple landscape with lots of fun colors and splatters to play with. So do yourself a favor and give this tutorial a go. I promise that it will be fun. I guess the only challenge would be to dig out that courage and motivation to start painting. And if you did paint along with me, I hope you enjoy painting this as much as I did. So that's all from me today. I hope you have a great day and awesome summer, and I'll see you guys in the next tutorial.